Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Heiko and today we're talking about growing tomatoes. And I did that for the last 7 years and tried a lot of things, and I want to show you the system that I found is the best. It is an adaptation of a professional gardener system from people who earn their money with growing tomatoes. So yeah, I show you a little twist with that and a very cheap system as well. Let's go. Let's start with a quick overview of the systems I used the last years. So at first there's the stick method, very easy. You bind your tomato plant to any kind of stick or rod you have. It is very labor intensive as you have to bind every plant to that little rod. There are little plastic clips available, but in my experience they do not last very long because of sunlight and so on. So you need a lot of them. They do not last forever. And end of support means end of growth for your tomato plant. So if your stick reached the end, you have to cut your tomato plant, and that means no new fruits. The next system, very commonly used back here in Germany at least, is this kind of corkscrew stick. They are good for smaller plants, as due to the construction of that stick, it gets shaky if the stick would be longer. So it's good for container gardens and smaller plants, easy to use. You just wind the plant in. They are usable for plants up to a height of 5 feet. The third method now is the cage or basket method. You need that if you have kind of cherry tomatoes, tomato plants with more stems, but it is very material intensive as you have to place around every single plant an own cage. I use that just for cherry tomatoes and for containers. At this point I have to add that I had always different kind of tomato plants in the garden, so that I had a nice variety of tomatoes on the table. So the new system we're just building now, and you will totally understand how the system works as you watch it being built. So the new system can support every kind of tomato. It's very easy, except for container gardens, in what you have every container on a different spot. Next step for our little circles here is I cut V-shaped grooves, 1/2 inch, 1 centimeter deep into the wood, fully through, so like this. Three or four, it really doesn't matter. You will see why this really doesn't matter in a minute. Let's cut that real quickly and then we will see how that works. So here we are now at my chaos and trial raised bed. So there are carrots next to the tomato plant, so ignore that. How the whole system works, you just make a knot around the stem down there, leave a little bit air, and then you start winding the twine around the stem. That's pretty much everything. This plant now is a little bit big as I removed the twine as it was, just for demonstration purposes. And all you have to do once a week, you just wind the twine around the stem. In case of this plant I want to have 2 stems, so this is the next one, and I can just bind my new twine, and I will do that quickly. around the old twine here, so there's no pressure on the plant itself. So you can give this new stem, second stem, the same support as you gave the first, and you can clearly separate them. The same as I did here, I can do the same kind of support to very heavy fruits. And on top, the whole system consists of the twine, this little plate that will keep the twine in place, and the hook. The wire, you can move the hook on, and you can move your whole plant wherever you like to have it. Alright, this now is the whole system. We have the upper support, we have our self-made hooks, we have the twine, and down there the bed with the plants. So nothing fancy here. You swing the plants once a week around that rope, so it will support the plant and it can grow very stable. Why we use this over a normal fixed attached string? The plants just develop new fruits if they grow, and if you have a fixed rope up here, there is a limit. So if the plant reach that top, you have to cut it. And with this method you can just unwind and move the hook, so the plant can go on. And what happens here is that the plant will bend slightly. You have to remove the lower leaves, and the plant then lays to the ground after a while. So last year I had a plant that was 4 feet on the ground until end of growing season. So it still develops new fruits. So this is pretty much the whole system and this is why it is so nice. You still have new and new and new fruits. Here now is the same raised bed after a few weeks, and as you can see, the plants moved and the stem starts to lay on the ground. In order to avoid ground contact with the wet soil, I let the fruits overhang over the sides of the raised bed or support them with a little twine. So that's pretty much the whole system, and over the time I will convert my whole garden to this kind of trellis system. If you have any questions or recommendations, leave me a comment below. I hope you liked that video. Give me a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, you know all that. I hope I see you next time around. Happy gardening!